Today, Scimandan's going to debunk the spinning globe with a little bit of help from me. So nice one, Dan. Take it away, me old mate.
Right, next up is the main man himself, Mr. Level Earth Observer. What have you got for us today, buddy?
Well, funny you should ask, Dan. It's called demonstrable reality. It's where large standing bodies prove scientifically the globe is impossible because they do not have the ability to display convexity upon its surface. Not an opinion, a scientific fact. And it would seem here, of course, you're about to address one of my crane videos. Another scientific fact, where every pendulum and tower crane on Earth proves, without a shadow of a doubt, the Earth is not spinning. If you're claiming it is, you need to provide a scientific demonstration citing a pendulum proving tower cranes and pendulums can be dead still on a spinning ball. So let's hope Dan's got some real world science here, or at least a demonstration involving a pendulum or a scaled down crane. Let's have a look.
Gravity is simply a description in which the way things fall. People like myself don't deny that. What I do deny are the silly heliocentric stories attached to that natural phenomenon.
So this is a new one. Level Earth Observer does think that gravity is a thing. Well, good sir, you have elevated yourself in my estimations.
Oh, how will I cope? How will I get over this incredible praise? No, Dan, that's always been the stance, mate. Always. Perhaps you might want to stop entertaining the propaganda and the delusions that walk hand in hand with the globe pantomime. That's always been the claim, me old mate.
Okay. On our screen here, we've got the globe theory, and we've got 2 points of reference. Tower crane A, tower crane B. Tower crane A is in the north, tower crane B is at the equator. Tower crane A is 100 feet tall and is supposedly spinning 515 miles an hour. Tower crane B is at the equator, is 1,000 feet tall and is supposedly spinning at 1,025 miles an hour.
Oh, and we go back again. Not this angular versus linear momentum thing again.
Doesn't matter if it's rotating on a circular path or in your cunning way, because you want to take it to a linear path. You want to go down the linear momentum route where you can display sophist, scientific, pantomime style demonstrations to somehow back your delusion that gigantic cranes can be dead still on a spinning ball. Even if a pendulum was to travel in a straight line, it would still swing. Doesn't matter if it was a circular path or a straight line. Pendulums will swing. Any pendulum that is moving will give the game away. And every single pendulum that is still, is not travelling, will be dead still. Not opinion, again, scientific fact. But Dan wants to go down the linear route here so he can then open up the box of sophist, pantomime style science to somehow refute me. I know now we're not going to get a demonstration involving a pendulum. I just know it.
Honestly, come on.
Now,
No, you come on. Where's your scientific demonstration, son? Where's your practical reference showing a pendulum dead still on a moving object? Doesn't matter if it's spinning round in a circle or going in a straight line. Where is it, Dan?
I've stated in many of my videos, on a non-windy day, every tower crane and pendulum on Earth will be dead still. Of course, the globe believers will cite gravity as the reason for that.
No we won't. We'll cite Newton's first law. The Earth spins constantly, which you can quite clearly prove. An object...
No, you can. Clearly you can, because every crane on Earth proves that. You need to look up at the sky to cite that as somehow proof, which is not scientific. And if you're claiming Newton's first law holds tower cranes upside down on a spinning ball rather than gravity, then all the textbooks need to be rewritten, son. Can you see how dishonest and how these people have to entertain, go back and forth upon themselves? Dan, the claim is the Earth is a ball with cranes all array around it. Cranes upside down in relation to me. That's supposedly as a result of gravity, right? Not Newton's first law. That's your explanation for supposed travelling in a straight line to line up the scientific pantomime science demonstration that is no doubt to follow in a minute. The big question is, Dan, will it have a pendulum in it, or will it have some geezer on a train or a bottle of water on a train? The excitement's killing me already, Dan. And bear with me, you're going the linear path here, right? Citing Newton's first law, okay? But what is linear about globe Earth in the first place? 2 secs. What is linear about this? Nothing. Can you see? I mean, I'm trying to be nice here by just entertaining. I'm not even mentioning the ridiculous speeds that the globe Earth's supposed to be going in all different directions. I'm trying to entertain and be a little bit nice here. So there better be a pendulum demonstration here, Dan.
At rest or a constant speed unless acted upon by an outside force. We rotate at a constant speed, therefore we don't feel it. Gravity doesn't really have anything to do with this.
We're supposed to be on a wobbling, oscillating cannonball, spinning at the equator, circling the sun, flying through the vacuum of infinite pantomime space, all different directions. Nothing linear about it whatsoever. When I referred to gravity, I meant holding cranes all the way round, dead still, some upside down on a spinning ball. You're getting a bit confused, Dan.
But as we're about to see here, the gravity story that's attached to the natural phenomenon of things falling just doesn't cut it here. As we look at these two scenarios, bearing in mind every pendulum on Earth proves scientifically the Earth isn't spinning anyway.
That's a laugh because the exact opposite is true here.
Oh dear. And this thing has been served up more times than a cooked breakfast. I want a demonstration of a pendulum proving scientifically that tower cranes can be dead still on a spinning ball. Not some Victorian parlour trick, Dan, that is powered by magnets. Link in the description, 2 great videos covering this silly little parlour trick. One by Eric Dubay, the other one by The Bloody Truth. Link in the description to those 2. Dear, I mean, dear, oh dear. More pantomime science.
You've only got to look at the globe evidence that's cited to somehow prove that tower cranes could be dead still on a spinning ball, and you get a bottle of water on a train. They can't even give you a demonstration involving a pendulum. So we already know the spinning globe's ridiculous.
Here's a clip to show Newton's first law in action.
Oh, here we go then. Fantastic. This is obviously what I've been waiting for, with me being a tower crane operator of over 20 years, knowing scientifically that the globe is impossible. I'm curious to know what scientific demonstration we're going to get from Dan proving that tower cranes can be dead still, all on the outside of a ball, one that's wobbling, oscillating, spinning at the equator, going around the sun, flying through the infinite vacuum of pantomime space. Blow us away here, Dan. I can't wait to see your scientific demonstration with a pendulum, just like I asked. What? And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Dan displaying his full PhD in pantomime science, which of course walks hand in hand with his globe nonsense. You can't even demonstrate a pendulum travelling in a linear fashion. You quote Newton's first law, but then you've got a geezer on the back of a pickup truck throwing a ball in the air. I don't mean to state the obvious, Danny boy, but I'm not a beach ball operator in the back of someone's pickup truck. We're not talking about a beach ball being thrown up in the air. Well, a pickup truck does what? I don't know, 10 miles an hour. We're talking about supposed gigantic machines, hundreds up to 1,000 feet tall, supposedly dead still on a spinning ball. You've cited Newton's first law, and then I expected at the very least, by entertaining your linear fashion viewpoint on your wobbling, oscillating world being nice, thinking foolishly we'd have a demonstration with a pendulum. But no, I get some geezer in the back of his pickup truck throwing a ball in the air. Dear oh dear. Here's a clip of a tower crane travelling in a linear fashion on tracks, doing approximately 2 to 3 miles an hour. I want you to watch when the camera pans up at the chains, hardly any underhook height, and look at the chains and take into account the speed of the crane, and let's obviously see the chains swinging about. Well, this crane is only travelling at 2 to 3 miles an hour. So let's have a look. I've turned the sound down so we avoid the building site noises. But we've got the crane breaking all sorts of speed records there. And as the cameraman looks up, we get to see the chains swinging about. Should pan up now, I believe. Watch them chains swinging about there as that crane travels. Alright. Now let's imagine that crane now. Bearing in mind the crane's only, I don't know, about, I'll take a guess, 120 foot tall. There's restrictions on travelling cranes anyway. That should be a big warning light for anyone, straight off the bat. So let's say this crane's 120 foot tall and is travelling approximately 3 miles an hour. And we saw there's hardly any underhook height. And we saw the chain swinging and dancing around. Now let's imagine this crane travelling at 500 miles an hour. With the chains all the way down 10 foot off the ground. Let's visualise how much they'd be swinging then. Now let's visualise this crane doing 1,000 miles an hour with the chains all the way down to 10 foot off the ground. Let's visualise how much the chains would be swinging then. Bearing in mind, just with this little bit of height at this speed, they're all over the shop. Of course, the bigger the pendulum, the bigger the swing. And of course, the faster you're going, the more it's going to swing. Not an opinion, a scientific, demonstrable fact. Every pendulum on Earth that's travelling will be swinging, and you'll be able to see it. Every pendulum on Earth that's not travelling, will be dead still. Again, not an opinion, a scientific fact. And this is why the globe pantomime science community can't cite any kind of pendulum or tower crane as evidence that the Earth is a spinning ball. Because it's scientifically impossible. Scimandan has shown that with his back truck beach ball pantomime science demonstration. I've shown you a tower crane 120 foot tall, and I don't know, 1.5 meters of underhook height, and is swinging all over the place, doing only 2 to 3 miles an hour, travelling in linear fashion. Now imagine that crane being 1,000 foot tall, the chains all the way down, travelling 1,000 miles an hour. It's going to be messy, it's going to be ridiculous. Reality tells us that. This bit of footage tells us that. 2 to 3 miles an hour, hardly any hook height, swinging all over the shop. Now imagine a crane doing 1,000 miles an hour with 1,000 foot of rope and chain. Doesn't bear thinking about. Thankfully, it's not ever going to happen because the globe is scientifically impossible. I've demonstrated what Dan should have done by giving you a demo of a tower crane or a pendulum travelling in a linear fashion. And unfortunately, even though Dan cites Newton's first law, he'll give you some sophistry in the back of a Jeep. I entertain the Earth travelling in a linear fashion, which it's not anyway, according to them, but I'll entertain that using a crane. And again, I scientifically prove the globe is impossible. And Dan has as well, with his citation of his beach ball fever, i.e. his pantomime science. It's ridiculous. Let's go back to Dan, just to finish off. So we've just destroyed Dan and his globe fantasy. And Dan's kind of helped out, so we at least thank him for that. Dear, oh dear. Oh. There we go.
That goes to try and justify this silly spin. So between these two cranes, we've got a difference of 900 feet. One's 900 feet taller and is doing 500 miles an hour faster than the other. And yet on a non-windy day, I'm supposed to believe gravity can affect one crane that's 100 foot tall and is doing 500 miles an hour. Yet thousands of miles away, it can affect another crane that's 900 foot taller and is doing 500 miles an hour faster, and yet make them both seem exactly the same, dead still. Now, no one denies things fall down. But those things falling down, whatever causes that, doesn't change the molecular structure of water, and it doesn't make the reality of tower cranes being dead still on a spinning ball true. It just doesn't.
No one is saying that it is Level Earth Observer. This is a more glorious fail than I thought it was. You generally don't even understand the heliocentric model that you're trying to attack.
Bless you, Dan. Bless you for displaying your pantomime science to us, Dan. Bless you for citing Newton's first law, and then when we applied a tower crane, which is what was missing from your science, into the equation, i.e. travelling in a linear fashion, it destroyed every single bit of pantomime argumentation you cited. Dan, the globe, as you've just proven, is scientifically impossible. Dan seems to think now Newton's first law keeps tower cranes upside down on a spinning ball. Thanks for helping out today, Dan. It was very helpful to use your pantomime science and compare it to demonstrable reality. And of course, demonstrable reality tells us the globe is scientifically impossible. So thank you, Dan. Stick to your Lego engineering. I'd say you're pretty good at that. You've built a couple of very good Lego landers. I tip my hat to your skills in that field. But as far as pantomime science, somehow trying to take on demonstrable reality, my cranes, which is large standing bodies of water, and of course tower cranes, your pantomime science just becomes entertainment, my dear boy. So thank you for displaying your pantomime science and destroying scientifically the heliocentric pantomime known as the globe. Cheers, Dan.